job in L.A. I'll be as old as the oldies I play.
Hills full of cable cars, some residents in leather bars, fog climbs halfway up the Sutro Tower.
Welcome, everybody, to the California Historical Radio Society. I'm Rachel Lee. I'm the executive director here, and this is one of our monthly speaking events. We have these every month. Next month is a particularly special one because we are having an event at Scott's Seafood in Oakland that is Women in Broadcasting. So if you have not gotten your tickets for that, get your tickets. It's going to be spectacular. I'm going to pass this off to Steve Cushman to do our introductions.
Steve. Yes.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming, and we're so lucky to have this place that we can do these kind of activities at, which is something we haven't been able to do in 20 or 30 years or whatever. But we are here. We have our wonderful Bay Area radio personalities that we want you to meet and learn from. I don't have to introduce Don Bleu if you've been in the Bay Area years and listened to radio. And I don't have to introduce Michael Bennett from the Metro News anchor. We've got a newsman to interview a radio man.
Indeed.
Go to it, guys, and have fun. And call out what you need me to play. I'll play it for you.
Very nice.
All right.
Hi, Michael.
How are you, Don?
I'm good.
Yeah. Well, Ted Baxter once famously and pompously announced that it all started for him in a 5,000-watt radio station in Fresno, California. Not so much for you. You were in East Grand Forks, Minnesota, right?
East Grand Forks, Minnesota, the sugar beet capital of the world.
Who knew?
Sugar beets do not smell like sugar in the summertime.
Or do they smell like beets?
Oh, it's disgusting. So I was going to school at the University of North Dakota, which is actually across the river from East Grand Forks, Minnesota. It's in North Dakota, obviously. Shadow Stevens, who was a Los Angeles radio legend at that time, actually was Jefferson K., was a fraternity brother, and said, so what are you doing? I said, I'm selling shoes part-time, while I'm going to college. Kinney Shoes. I think they're gone. Kinney's is gone. He said, well, this job would probably smell better, so why don't you come down and try radio? And so I did, and that's where I started. I was, and am, 6'4". So he said, I got a great radio name for you. We're going to call you R. Thomas Thumb.
Oh,
how about that?
Jeez.
So I was R. Thomas Thumb on KILO in Grand Forks, North Dakota. And this is at the time, probably 1967, I guess.
Yeah.
66, 67. So the Vietnam War is in full bloom. And the thing I started with was doing like halftime at the basketball game or whatever. And now back to the station for the news and weather and blah, blah, blah. Well, it was all about Vietnam and all the Vietnamese names, which were impossible, to pronounce. But of course, in Grand Forks, North Dakota, nobody knows anyway, except there's an air base in Grand Forks, North Dakota. So you had thousands of military people listening. Hopefully they were listening. But of course, they all knew,
it wasn't Ben Hoa.
It's Ho Chi Minh.
Yeah, it's Benoit, not Ben Hoa.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was a learning experience as you pronounce that, thinking nobody would catch you, but you get a phone call.
Yeah. Well, you have since gone on to bigger and better things. National Adult Contemporary Era Personality of the Year for Radio and Records. Did some TV. You did the Gong Show. How did that come about?
The Gong Show was. Do you remember Joe Isuzu? Does that name ring a? Joe Isuzu was the guy who would lie all the time.
Yeah, David Leisure.
David Leisure.
Yeah.
And so he would lie all the time, and that was his claim to fame in the Isuzu commercials. And they offered him the Gong Show when
Chuck Barris.
Peters and Goober.
Oh, okay.
Kind of took over. Chuck Barris had sold everything. And Peters and Goober, or Beaters and Coober, or whoever they are, took over. So they're looking for a host, and they say, Mr. Isuzu, we want you to host this. And he went, great, you got a deal. And then about shortly before the show started production, he said, you know, this isn't going to be good for my image. And so he walked away from it. The guy who was actually in charge, the executive producer, was Jeff Wald, who was married to Helen Reddy.
That's right, yeah.
A real bad person.
Famously pulled the shotgun on somebody at Tahoe.
Oh, that's our guy, yeah. That's the guy I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's
anyway,
the one, yeah.
At that point, he was married to Candy, is it Candy Clark? From American Graffiti?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Candy Clark looked at the audition tapes of, I had auditioned for it, or sent in a tape. She went, I like that guy. He's nice. I like that guy. And so that's how I ended up with the gig.
And you did that for what, a year?
I did it for a year. They called it Don Bleu, the host with the heart. And I think the Gong Show had kind of overdone its time. It wasn't very relevant. They've since brought it back, I think, one time with, who hosted it? In Disguise.
Really?
Michael, what's his name?
I don't know.
Yeah, you do.
Oh,
Your name is Michael.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Anyway,
I remember hearing
Anyway,
that.
they brought it back a couple more times. I think Will Arnett was the producer one time, and but it never worked again. So it lasted 1 year.
Well, that's good. But you're also in the Pavic Museum of Broadcasting Hall of Fame. Is that correct?
That is correct. That's the Minnesota Radio Hall of Fame.
Indeed.
Yes.
Indeed. So you started in the 60s.
Yeah.
And Shadow Stevens kind of pushed you in that direction. You have another memorable story from your days at KILO or
Well,
KDW?
KILO, we didn't realize how cool the name was at the time, but Kilo, come on.
I hadn't thought of that.
You got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
And we just called it KILO. We never even said Kilo, and there we were.
You missed an opportunity.
Yeah, it was magic.
Yeah.
But I left there and went to Fargo, North Dakota for a summer, and then it was time to decide whether to go back to school in Grand Forks.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I hooked up with a woman. And so I'm married, I have a child, or I actually don't have a child yet. I almost have a child. And now it's either time to go back to school or go to Minneapolis, get the big offer in Minneapolis.
Yeah, big city.
So I get there and they go, all right, this is KDWB in Minneapolis. And they said, so you'll be, what are you? I said, R. Thomas Thumb. They went, no, that's not going to happen. So KHJ in Los Angeles, the real Don Steele was the man.
Yeah.
So they said, you will be the true Don Bleu. So that's where the name came from.
And that's where that came from.
Yeah. So that was 10 years in Minneapolis.
So that transition from going from small-time radio or small-town radio, I guess, to the big city, what was that like?
It was, I remember the night before I went on where they said, do midnight to 6, but this was during on, I think, Sunday night or whatever. They went off the air from midnight to 6. Later on, they stayed on. So I would just do a midnight to 6 show with nobody listening, and about 20 cans of Coke. I remember I'm throwing that Coke down. I'm so nervous. I don't know what I'm doing. And then Monday, I guess it wasn't Sunday night. It must have been Saturday, whatever. And then Monday I started afternoons at KDWB. Wow. And I was TDB and whatever other acronyms I could figure out.
So from there, did you come to the city, to San Francisco?
No, from there I wanted to follow the real Don Steele, head to Los Angeles. So I went to KHJ in Los Angeles. Unfortunately, this was a time when AM was just kind of falling apart. It was music, radio, AM. We ended up we had one of our slogans was AM means all music. And it didn't work out. KHJ at that point, was just at the end of the road. They went all traffic at one point.
Yeah.
They went Hispanic, they did. But that's what was happening with radio then, is that FM was now I remember interviewing the Grassroots one time, probably one of the most bubblegum groups in the world. And then they said, are you AM or FM? I said, AM. They go, we don't do AM. I went,
Oh.
you're the Grassroots, for God's sake. You don't do AM. What are you talking about? And so there I am in Los Angeles for about 11 months. I'm doing mornings, then they bring in Rick Dees. They moved me to middays. And then after about 3 months, maybe less than that, the president of RKO General was the owner. And the president says, well, you know what has to happen here. And I go, no, I have no idea what has to happen here. He goes, well, you know, we brought you here to do mornings, and now you're middays. So I'm just kind of treading water, and finally I get fired by Chuck Martin, another radio name. Chuck Martin was 5'6". I'm 6'4". So he says, you know, I'm going to have to, I said, look, if you're going to fire me, at least look me in the eye and fire me. So he stands up on a chair, and he looks me in the eye, and he goes, you're fired. And so that was KHJ. And now I'm in Los Angeles. It's 1979 or 80.
Yeah.
I don't, you know, I bought a house. I got, now I have two kids. Yeah, I have 2 kids. This is back when interest rates were 17%.
Of course
back
they
in
were, yeah.
79,
absolutely.
80. Yeah. And so now I'm going through the classifieds in Los Angeles going, okay, well, that's country. I don't do country. That's news talk. I don't do news talk. That's the station that fired me. Okay,
We don't want that, yeah.
So I got nothing. I don't know what I'm going to do. And I'm a little apprehensive about, you know, what's going on here. And my sister-in-law was going to Stanford at the time. And she said, there is a radio station up here that you just have to work at. It's called KYUU 99.7. And it's adult contemporary, which really was an unheard of format about then. You know,
Right,
it's just not heavy rock, you know, it's not bubblegum, it's not this, it's adult contemporary with Billy Joel and Elton John and, you know, all that, Doobie Brothers and all of that. So I came up and interviewed and started at KYUU, I think, in 1980.
So how was the transition from LA market to San Francisco? What was the big difference?
The LA market, I don't think I ever really established, or any, you know, we weren't, it was not a successful run. Even, you know, I think Rick Dees followed me mornings at KHJ, and he didn't last very long either. Ended up at KISS FM, where he was a legend for 25 years.
And he
or
did
whatever.
Disco Duck.
Yeah, exactly. Did Disco Duck. So how can you follow that?
Yeah, really. I mean, seriously.
Actually, when he came to KHJ, so KHJ is in the, is it Paramount or, anyway, it's an old movie studio lot.
Right.
So there's a gate and everything, you know, to go through. And so when I get there, they go, okay, there's no parking inside. That's for, because it was radio and TV. So you go, there's parking inside is just for the TV people and, you know, and executives and yada yada. So I'm parking, you know, down the street somewhere. And then Rick Dees comes in and they go, here's your spot, right here, right in front. I'm going, okay, this isn't going to work out.
It was the Disco Duck thing that did it.
Yeah, well, he was coming from Memphis. He'd already had a pretty stellar career for Memphis, and actually did very well in Los Angeles. He's a good guy. He's a great guy.
Yeah, yeah. So now we've got syndicated morning shows.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this? And is that where the industry is going, or is it going anywhere at this point?
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
It's, you know, I don't know what to think about it. I mean, I just look back and feel so fortunate that when I was doing radio, it was a time that radio was really fun. And I look at it now, and, you know, I guess it's sort of a vicious circle, that there's no revenue because all of that sort of went to the internet, to Google and Facebook and everything.
Right.
So there's no money. So now there's no, they can't afford to have all these individual programs, stations, managers, and worker bees. And so the quality goes down. Right. The advertisers go away. Now there's even less money to pay people. The radio goes, so it's just like, it's like they talk about San Francisco, we're in the doom cycle or whatever it is. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I don't know what the future is. There's still good people that are working in radio that are enjoying what they're doing.
Yeah.
And, whatever the size of the audience is, or the thing is, there's not a lot of money being made because the syndication. It's easier to pay somebody $1 million to do 20 radio stations or 100 radio stations than to pay everybody 50,000, whatever the numbers would turn out to be. Easier to just plug something in.
Yeah. So, young person comes to you and says, "I'm thinking about going into broadcasting." What do you tell them?
No. Well, I mean, like I said, there's enjoyable jobs in radio. It's just not the choices that you used to have, or the opportunities that you used to have.
Yeah.
So there's still, it's you want to be in the NFL. Well, everybody's not going to make it in the NFL, but somebody is, and so there's going to be people that are going to be successful and are the syndicated people and are on 50 different radio stations across the country and go, wow, radio's great, and for them it is.
Well, you did something that not many broadcasters have been able to do, stay at one place for 20-some years.
Yeah, actually 35 in San Francisco from 80 to 2015.
Wow. And to what do you attribute this?
I think greasing the salespeople is.
See, there, you heard it here first.
Yeah. Well, it's. I know that for certain there was one program director. We kind of changed formats a little bit, and he wanted to let me go. And the general manager said, "No, we're gonna keep Don Bleu." And one of the main reasons was because of sales. And I think that a lot of radio people don't realize, this is what makes this work. If there's no commercials playing,
Yeah.
And one of the things that I did a lot of, which I enjoyed, I wasn't doing it just to, make something happen, was to hang around with the other people at the station other than the air staff. And, walk when you finish your show and you walk through the sales department and the production people and just all the people that are involved, because it's a family.
Yeah, right.
And so I think that was an important part of what I felt, was that these are all the people that make this work, and spend time with them. And I think a lot of radio personalities would go, salespeople, get them out of here. I remember one time at K101. We did some bit on the air about, I think it was Safeway, something that had happened at Safeway. General manager calls me in and he goes, "Look at this." And around his office was posters of all the clients. And he goes, "These are the people that keep you, that pay you."
Exactly.
And you're making fun of this, and so I didn't stop me from doing that anymore. But I realized, it's you got to make this work
it's a given.
properly,
Yeah. Okay, so in your illustrious career, what would you say you are most proud of?
I would say that, it's an interesting story, 2001, 9/11. About, I don't know, half a year after that, I'm at some sort of a charity function. And a woman came up to me and she said, on 9/11, she said that the thing that got me through that day was that I was listening to you and I trusted everything you said and I believed what you were saying, and it made my day. And I looked at my wife and I go, "Where were we on 9/11? She said, "We were in Rome." I was not on the air. But the fact that, and I don't know that, that this is the most proud of, but the thing is that she just thought, my trust is in Don Bleu. And I must have been listening to him that day, because that's what I did, and I felt, you know, that the day, I'm going to get through this day because of Don Bleu, or with his help.
Yeah.
And it was just a really sweet compliment, even though I wasn't even there.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That was one of the questions I was going to ask you. How do you handle something like the morning after the '89 quake? How do you go on the air? How do you approach that? Did you?
Well, that day, remember Buck? Remember Buck? The guy
Buck
that was,
Helms.
and the Cypress smash, and lasted for several days. I don't know how many days. I think that because that affects me pretty much as much as anybody else. I mean, my chimney's fallen down.
Right, yeah.
So you approach it much more personally than something like 9/11, which obviously is, you know, it affects all of America, all the world. Yeah. But with the earthquake, like, that was something, you know, you had the A's and the Giants playing.
Right.
The game's canceled, you know, so I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that was Bay Area. It was a Bay Area incident, you know. So if you're part of the Bay Area, I think that's much easier to deal with than, you know, talking about this plane crash that happened in Washington, D.C., you know, 2 weeks ago or whatever. It's personal because, you know, it is affecting me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But do you go on and do you do bits? But are you just trying to comfort people? And
I think the 2 or 3 days following the earthquake, I don't think we did any. I mean, we played music,
right, yeah.
But I don't think we did any comedy stuff.
Now, you did a lot of bits on your show. Do you have any memorable ones that come to mind right
it's
offhand?
funny. Tonight, 2 people came up to me that I married. I became a Universal Life Church minister because I'm holy.
Of course you are.
Yeah. You get it from, I think, the back of Rolling Stone magazine. For $5, you become a Universal Life Church minister. And anyway, so Anna and Steve are here tonight. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that I did was I would marry people on the air. So that's why I got the license to be the minister. And we married people in the blimp over the Golden Gate Bridge, which was fabulous, and it was an overcast kind of day, and then all of a sudden the clouds, the fog moved away, the sun is shining on the blimp, and the shadow is on the Golden Gate Bridge, and you're just going, wow, it couldn't be any better. And we had the music from You Never Close Your Eyes. That was the song that they wanted, and we had recorded one of the Righteous Brothers wishing them,
oh, wow.
wedding and all this. It was spectacular. We married people on water skis at Marine World, where instead of I do, they'd go, hit it! And off they go, skiing away. But anyway, so Anna and Steve, we decided we wanted to do a wedding underwater. So we had to get scuba certified, and we did it at Six Flags in the dolphin tank. And so we're underwater, and this could be apocryphal, I'm not sure. Just before the ceremony starts, Steve gives me one of these. And I'm going, oh my God, the guy's drowning. This is not going to be good for the show. But instead, he's going, my microphone's not working. So Anna says, I got this. So I say, Steve, do you take Anna to be your lawfully wedded wife? And Anna goes, he does. So there we are. From then on, you've got it. I was saying that day, Anna's going to run the show here from now on. Anyway, 20 years like this year that they got married underwater, and they're here tonight, everybody.
Yes.
Happy anniversary. Perfect. Yeah, the wedding at Six Flags, not a dry eye in the place.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, were you saying boo or blue? But we did a lot of just crazy fun. It was, the thing is, the point of your show, as far as the ratings are concerned, is, it has to be memorable, because back in the day, the ratings were diaries.
That's right.
And so you would send a diary out to these people, and they would have it for a week. and they would get it, you know, they'd have to turn it in on Thursdays or whatever it was. And so they're supposed to each day go, okay, I'm listening to Don Bleu, and it's 6 o'clock, and then listen till 6:20, and then I listen again at 7:20 until 7, and you know that they go, oh shit, it's Wednesday night, I haven't filled in my diary yet. Oh my God. And so hopefully they're going to write, oh, Monday morning, Don Bleu, Tuesday morning, Don Bleu. Yeah. So, I mean, you're always trying to make them remember. That's why you're repeating your call letters all the time, you know, all over and over, and your name all the time and all of this, because you want them to remember, you know, what they're listening to.
Yeah, we were always afraid they were just going to, as you say, Wednesday, oh my God, and they give it to the kids.
Yeah.
And the kids write down the pop stations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and so you hope, you know, that you're the one. So anyway, you're always trying to do stuff that is memorable. We did, I remember on St. Patrick's Day in front of Pat O'Shea's, we did a human Irish stew. So we got a hot tub. We're doing the show in the hot tub.
Oh, I don't like where this is
and
going.
We are covered with, well, we got Lucky Charms in the hot tub, which don't look good in the hot tub.
Yeah.
Potatoes, Jameson's, whiskey, Irish Spring, and then us. And then we invited people to come down, you know, put on something green and come on down, jump in the tub with us. And a few people did, you know, so.
They didn't sample the.
Yeah, exactly. We were at K101, we were across the street from the Transamerica building.
Right, yeah.
Right on that corner. And the Transamerica building has a huge, you know, plaza kind of in front of them. So this was a great place for us to do bits, and you could use a wireless mic and shoot it back across the street, you know, and it worked great. So we did a thing, we had moms, on Mother's Day weekend, we had moms come out and they had to drive a riding lawnmower through an obstacle course, and then whichever mom, and we called it Mother Mows Best. And that was another Blue, I heard, yeah. You know, so you just tried to come up with just the craziest stuff and things that were memorable, that people went, oh, he did that thing, you know, and then they'd write it down. Well, you know, then later on, the ratings switched from diaries to meters. Yeah. So now it's not what you write down, it's what you hear. In fact, I think they changed the vocabulary to it's not what you listen to, it's what you hear, because your meter is hearing wherever you are. So you go to Safeway, you hate country music, but Safeway's playing country music, and your meter says, I listen to country music from 9:40 to 10:30. So that was the new ratings.
Oh, man.
And we thought, well, now that it's the real thing, you know, we always would complain, oh, well, we didn't get the right diaries, they ended up in San Mateo, they hate us in San Mateo, or whatever. And now we're saying, okay, now it's legitimate. And now those stations that always got the great ratings, we're going to find out that they're not so hot, you know, and that it's going to be just like KQED always had these, you know, great ratings. We're going, oh yeah? Oh, we'll find out. And we figured it was sort of like when the doctor says, how many drinks do you have, you know, and you say 2 a week.
Yeah, right, yeah, exactly.
And there's the same thing. Do you listen to KQED? Oh, yes, I do. I'm very intellectual. Well, so then the meters come out, and we find out everybody listened to KQED. And we got killed. We got murdered. Yeah. It was a rude awakening.
No doubt.
Yeah.
So you've been retired now, what, 15 years?
10 years.
Oh, 10 years.
Actually, 10 years, like this week, almost. Well, no, this summer.
So if you could go back and do one more morning show, would you do it, and what would you do?
Would I go back? I actually, you know, on I think a Tuesday or whatever it was, I had that fateful meeting where they said, you know, I walk in and here's the general manager, the president of the company, blah, 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 you know, the program director. I go, oh, it's this meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But they said, you know, work the rest of the week, where usually they go,
Oh, yeah.
Pack your bag and get out because they're afraid of, I suppose, what you're going to say. But they let me do the rest of the week. So on that Friday, I mean, we put together all the bits and fun and stuff from years. Carolyn McCardle was my co-host at the time, who was fabulous. And I mean, she put together some great stuff, and we had a great Friday show.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I did get to do, excuse me, that show.
And that's very unusual because, as you say, they usually, that was your last show you did yesterday.
Yeah.
See you around. Don't slam the door on your way out.
Well, usually they come up and they go, hey, how was your last show? You go, good. Why? Because that was your last show.
That was it, yeah.
Out of here. Pack your bag, put your little box of goodies and get out.
Yeah, take your jacket and leave. What would you like people to remember? The one thing that you would like people to remember you and your radio career by?
Somebody called me the friendly prankster.
That's good.
One time, we did all these blooper calls that we did were, and I mean, I suppose thousands of them, hundreds anyway. And these blooper calls were always set up by a friend, a husband, somebody's neighbor, whatever it may be. So we would make the blooper calls, and then so we record them, and then get their permission. I mean, we'd always get their permission. And there were a few that said no, I don't want that on, and we said okay, not a problem. But they were always, fun. Even though some were embarrassing and people went, oh my God, I can't believe it. But it was always under all of it was this sort of love fest. So the kind of friendly prankster, nice on the air as he is off the air, blah, blah, whatever, that kind of.
Right, yeah, exactly.
That's what I would like to be remembered as. The nice guy who was entertaining.
Absolutely.
Let's say that.
Yeah. Well, Carolyn McCardle turned me into one of those.
Nice guys?
Yeah, no.
Oh.
No, actually not. But no, she told you about something that I did because we worked together in Pleasanton.
Yes.
And one time I was over in the corner, I had something caught in my teeth and I was flossing, and she's a germaphobe. And she was just grossed out by that. And she told you about it, and you called me, and I was in the car on the way home on the cell phone, and you wanted to know if you could use that. Yeah, of course, absolutely. Yeah. Who doesn't floss after every meal?
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, we had, the blooper calls, I think I brought some with me. Some of the blooper calls were, wouldn't work. Some I kept thinking that I was doing these different impressions, different voices all the time in these blooper calls. So I'd start off with like a, Swedish accent or something. And by 2 sentences in, I'm doing the same voice every call. And so a lot of people find, they'd go, this is Don Bleu. And then, that's the end of the call. It wouldn't work. But there's one call, I'll play this call that it really didn't work because the guy didn't really fall for it. I didn't suck him in on this bit. His staff had called in and said that he was their boss and that he was just harassing everybody. But the kind of a friendly sort of harass anyway. So if you have the harassment call, see if this works.
Steve.
Hi, Steve. This is Alan Unterman. I'm with Travers, Senton, Lever, and Stone. We're attorneys at law. Mm-hmm. I was contacted by your union rep, Earl.
Okay, go ahead.
The case has been turned over to us. The complaints come from Debbie, Kim, and Joni, and these are harassment cases against you that they have brought.
All right, go ahead.
Steve, it's a serious matter.
All right.
Debbie has implied that that you have said that she's fat, and
no, I didn't say fat. I said healthy.
One day you said she was wearing a pair of leather pants, and you said that there was enough leather in her pants to cover a sofa. Is that true?
No, a small love seat, not a sofa.
The day that she had the puppies in her office and you walked in and said, "Oh, I see you brought your husband to work with you." Is that true? I see that you feel that this isn't of any serious consequence. The day that she was wearing a gold-colored suit and you said that she looked like a big chamois. And that's just Debbie. Now, Kim said that you flex your not that you drop your pants, but I mean that you show her your buns of steel.
Listen, when you're a short little tubby guy and you work out, it feels good, tone up a little bit.
What about the things with Joni?
Oh, I can't remember that one. Which one
okay,
was
first
that
of all, and Joni's ethnicity is what? Steve?
I'd rather not say.
Steve, she's Indian.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And one day when she had the pimple in the middle of her forehead.
Yes. Oh my God. Oh jeez. Oh my God.
Now, Joni, so is Steve a decent plumber or steam fitter or whatever he does?
He's a welder, but no, he's not.
He's not very good. Yeah.
And you've been bloopered in the morning.
All your favorite bloopers at big1037fm.com.
So there's a blooper call that didn't work, but it worked, because it was just fun, and I don't even know if you could do that blooper call today. You think?
Politically incorrect.
Huh?
Politically incorrect.
Yeah. I think probably. Huh?
What was the time position?
That was 1037. I know. That's where you worked. Yeah. It wasn't you. Wasn't you. That's an interesting question of politically incorrect and what can you do, what can't you do. We did in 2000, I think it was 2001, there was a American military plane that was forced down in China.
Right. Yeah.
Remember this? And, and they held the crew hostage. And so we called a Kentucky Fried Chicken in China and was ordering for the crew. And it was, it was captain didn't want extra crispy, and the first mate, didn't like dark meat, and yada yada, and going back and forth, all these different things. So the call was kind of funny, but the mistake I made was calling the whole event a flyover. It's the fried chicken. It's a flyover, but the Asian community in the Bay Area felt I was making fun of the pronunciation of fly or fry or whatever. And so they start a letter writing campaign. Now, there's probably one person that started this, but it goes through the entire community. So I'm getting all these letters, and on my Wikipedia page, I think for like 15 years, I'm a racist. It says Don Bleu's a racist.
Oh, geez.
So, I didn't mean, but I look back and I kind of get what happened, that. So you gotta kind of watch yourself a little bit, or you get into some kind of trouble. But I think that was the most criticism. I mean, we had blooper calls that went kind of over the line and ended up not playing them or letting them go on our trip to Hawaii or something, to pacify people.
Yeah. Do we have another one, Steve?
Oh, I got tons of them.
Yeah, I got a million of them.
What do you like?
Well, one of the goofy ones, and again, this is probably one we can't do either these days. So there was a woman that had a sister in San Francisco. The woman lived in New York. She came out to visit her sister in San Francisco. And so her sister calls me and says, my sister's here from New York. Let's do something. And talking to her, well, what goes on? And so I find out that she sleeps with the dog. So I call as Dr. Wolf, the veterinarian.
Hello?
This is Dr. Wendell Wolf. I'm the veterinarian that checked...
Oh, that's right. She told me you were going to call, right?
Yeah, checked Corky.
Yeah?
Corky has a little case of serosynthis.
What's that?
Well, the common name for it would be canine crust.
Uh-huh.
And what it is just kind of a flakiness of the skin. And also people can get it from, you wouldn't get it from the dog unless you, like the dog slept in the same bed or anything like that.
Well, guess what?
What?
The dog sleeps in the same bed.
Oh, you're kidding.
I'm serious.
As I say, it's not real serious, but it's sure a condition you don't want to get because you would flake and everything like that. Canine crust is nothing to fool around with.
Okay.
We can do one of two things. I mean, you could come down and... Actually, you know what would be much easier?
What?
A citrus. Do you have maybe like a lemonade concentrate at home?
Yeah.
Frozen lemonade concentrate?
Right.
Okay, if you took that... see, all you need is a little radiation like from a microwave or even you have a TV there.
Right.
Okay, so you take the lemonade concentrate, you put it all over your body, and you sit real close to the TV. Okay?
Okay. Okay, all right.
Now, you're going to do this?
Yes, I'll do it.
Could you go get it right now?
Okay.
I mean, just make sure and come back to the phone here.
Okay, hold on.
Okay. I can't believe she's doing this. She's going to get it.
Okay.
Okay, you have it there?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, and are you dressed right now?
Yes, I am.
Okay, could you just take your clothes off real quick?
Oh, boy. Hold on a minute.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, wow, that was quick.
As soon as you tell me about something like this, you know how fast I'll take my clothes
wow,
off?
bang, just like that, huh? Yeah. Okay, anyway, so you have them off, and you've got the concentrate.
Right.
Okay, now if you'll just, just start with your arms.
Okay.
Okay, is it real cold?
Yeah. Very cold.
Okay, just spread it all. Where are you spreading it now?
My shoulders.
Okay.
Okay. My neck.
Uh-huh.
And my chest.
Whoa, huh? Whoa, yeah.
Okay, let me just switch arms. Okay, this stuff is really gooey.
I know it is, yeah. It's going to be sticky, and I'm sorry about that, but...
okay, all right. I got my other arm.
Okay.
Okay, done. My legs. Okay.
You did the back also?
Well, my back is just dripping down my back. I can't reach it really well.
Yeah, okay, that's fine then.
Okay.
And the lower back?
Yes, my lower back.
Yeah, you got your butt...
yes, I did.
Yeah,
I couldn't miss it.
Yeah, okay, great.
Okay.
Okay, now you have a TV set.
I got a TV. Okay, what would you like to watch?
No, it doesn't matter what you... Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just anything. All you want is the radiation from it.
Okay.
Now, when you have it on, if you put your hand up to it, can you feel a little static?
Yeah, I feel a tingle.
Okay, that's exactly it. Okay, now...
okay.
Now, this is much easier than coming in here, so just press your body up against...
Up against the screen?
Up against the screen, yeah.
It's tingling.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly, yeah. It's working. It's working. That's great.
It's working. Well, it's working.
Yeah.
Okay. And how long do I stay like this?
Oh, just your whole body, just do it one quick time. That should take care of it.
Okay. Well, sounds good. I should tell Rose to do this too?
Exactly, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
She's going to love it.
Actually, this is Don Bleu at K101.
I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, you're on the radio here.
Oh, my God. I don't believe this. You can't be serious. You can't be serious. No way. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me, please. I'm going to die. I don't believe this is happening to me.
Don't worry, you're from New York. They'll never know. We're not going to tell a soul back there.
Hey, how would you know about the dog?
This is the doctor. Okay. And tell Rose to give me a call, too.
Okay.
In fact, wait about 2 days and call me back and just let me know that everything's fine.
Okay.
Great.
Okay,
thanks so much. Okay, bye now.
All your favorite bloopers at big1037fm.com.
We probably couldn't do that one either today, huh?
Yeah, actually smeared lemonade concentrate and stood neck in front of the TV. See, it's the power of your believability.
Well, you know, that's the thing with so many of the blooper calls that you're amazed that they go along with this. You
Absolutely.
know? The easiest blooper calls to do were always with brides. Brides were just, first of all, you know they're on edge because their wedding is coming up. But if you said that their you know, that you were going to have to change the color of their flowers from caramel to ecru, they would have a shit fit. You know, they would go crazy. So brides were always, we did one with, she was getting married on a yacht in the bay, and we said that the yacht had run up against the pier. There was a leak, and that the bridal party and the guests were going to have to wear these rubber boots and orange life jackets. You know, and you just go, well, they're not going to believe this. They believe it, and they're just, man, they're right there. There was a wedding on Treasure Island that we said the Coast Guard was having some sort of operation going on. So instead of a limousine, they had to ride in this military bus, you know, to get to the wedding. And I mean, they've meticulously planned everything about this wedding, and if you move one little item, they just go crazy. So they were always ready to go with those blooper calls. Yeah, those were the fun ones. Lots of the calls that we did actually were, you know, were always set up by a husband or neighbor or somebody. So you always had that, you know, to fall back on. That, and a lot of times they were on the other line. So you go, oh, and they're ready to just kill you, and then you say, oh, and Cindy is here, you know, or somebody else jumps in with the voice that they know and goes crazy. So that was always kind of a fail-safe. That
absolutely.
It's not me. I'm not doing it.
No,
you know?
absolutely not.
Your husband made me do it.
Yeah, he set it up. Well, I think we're about ready to wrap it up. Any final thoughts as you head off again into retirement?
Well, I brought I think a video.
Oh, we have video.
I brought a video that. And I've got. I actually have a lot of the fun that we had. I had a guy, Whitey Gleason, I think, who's on the radio in Sacramento, doing sports radio still. And Whitey was brilliant with writing parody songs. So we had a lot of parody songs that we did. Remember when Humphrey was up in the
whale? Yeah.
So this is when "We Are the World" was the big deal. So we had the song, "We are the whale, we must deliver, we gotta help to get poor Humphrey back down the river, a bad choice he's making," on it goes. And then, so the Timex Social Club had the song "Rumors," what about those rumors? So we have a song, "What about those bloopers," that Whitey put together, and Timex Social Club actually sang for us. Play a little of that. Yeah, anyhow, just a lot of those, a lot of parody songs that we had a great time with. Turkey.
One more named Scalise.
Pardon?
I have one more named Scalise.
Yeah, no problem. We'll, if we all want more.
Yeah.
This is actually, a couple of weeks ago, I'm watching the Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl champion, and Shaquan Barkley is the running back for the Philadelphia Eagles. And as they're getting down to score, they take him out of the game and they put in some rookie, and the rookie scores the touchdown. And then they showed Barkley on the sidelines, and he was so excited, he was going crazy. And he asked the coach, if he scores, can I run out on the field? Because he's so excited that his protege, is scoring. So this phone call, actually, I don't do. It was a friend of mine, his wife, who's from Poland, who had taken her driver's test and perhaps had cheated on her driver's test at DMV. I wasn't going to call her because I knew she would recognize my voice. So Carolyn McCardle, I have her make the phone call to, I think we gave her a fake name because I didn't want to put her real name on. Anyway, she's at DMV.
Sometimes
and,
I like to blooper friends of mine, but when I do, of course, they recognize my voice. So instead, I had Carolyn McCardle. She's on weekends here, and she does a pretty good blooper call for me.
Hello?
Hi, I'm looking for Augustina.
Speaking?
My name is Carolyn Jones. I'm calling from the Oakland Department of Motor Vehicles. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I understand you were in the other day for your test for your driver's license here in California?
Yes.
And I wanted to discuss a matter with you that's come to my attention. I'm not sure if you're aware, but we have security cameras at the Department of Motor Vehicles. And it has come to my attention that during the written part of the exam, you were seen asking a gentleman on the side of you for some assistance on the question about the legal limit of alcohol in California. Is that true?
Is that what you saw?
Yes, ma'am.
I wasn't really asking that. That was my husband.
Okay, now are you aware that while taking tests at the Department of Motor Vehicles, you're not allowed to ask anybody for assistance?
I guess I am aware of that.
Yes, we noticed we had the camera actually zoomed in on the question, and it was the question about the legal limit of drinking in the state of California. It is .08. We saw you make a hand gesture as if you were taking a bottle and putting it to your lips, and we assumed that you were asking him for assistance on that question.
I had my test done by then, and I wasn't making any changes on that.
I understand that you're from Poland?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I want to let you know, I'm not sure how you do things over in Poland, but here in the United States, especially in the state of California, we don't behave that way at the Department of Motor Vehicles.
I apologize about that.
Unfortunately, I have to let you know that we are running an ongoing investigation. We're going to look into this further, and there is a chance that you will not be receiving your driver's license.
At all?
At all. Cheating is absolutely prohibited on these tests.
Ma'am, I really wasn't cheating. I mean, I was, I apologize, and I shouldn't have behaved, I guess, like that, but it just,
Are you admitting then, since you're apologizing, that you did cheat?
Well, I guess I don't know if I wasn't aware of the fact that it might be such a, I guess my awareness of this kind of behavior wasn't what I thought it could be.
Yeah.
But I'm really sorry. I mean, I did not know this is going to be.
I understand that you're having a baby.
Yes.
Do you really think this is a good example that you're setting for your child?
No, I guess not.
Augustina, what is wrong with you?
I guess it is my hormones. Hello?
Don Bleu. Augustina?
You're so nice.
I can't believe it.
Is this the way they do things in Poland?
Oh my God.
And you've been bloopered in the morning.
You've been bloopered in the morning. All your favorite bloopers at big1037fm.com.
Okay, let's move on.
On the edge of our
Very
seats.
good.
You want to see your video?
Huh?
Sidekicks, the different sidekicks that you have over the years, the different co-hosts.
Yes. Many different, many co-hosts that I think Carolyn was the last one and probably the best one. I mean, just she took care of me like, nobody else really had, because we ended up with just the two of us. Previously, like when I was talking about Whitey Gleason, and then we'd have a board op for years. Kevin Gorham was with me for 15 years. So all these different people had all kinds of different jobs. Then all of a sudden, with radio, you're all of a sudden down to two people. And so that's why I think she did, a lot more than anybody else. Well, she didn't do traffic because then we were using the traffic people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now here's Michael.
That's right.
I think that the one person that I enjoyed working with a lot was April Summers. So I remember one time we're down interviewing what's the show? Celebrity Rehab. Celebrity Rehab has Rachel Yucatel. Does that name ring a bell with anybody? Rachel Yucatel was Tiger Woods' mistress.
Oh.
So Rachel Yucatel is on the show with me, and they're promoting Celebrity Rehab. And they said, ask her anything you want, just nothing about Tiger Woods. I go, well, hello? That's the whole reason that she's on the show, as far as I'm concerned. The thing is, so you say, well, why don't you just ask her about Tiger Woods? What's going to happen? The problem is that these agencies represent 50 different stars. So if you don't follow the rules with her, then you don't get Harrison Ford next week, and you don't get Matt Damon the week after that, and whatever. So anyway, I look at her and I say, so you're a sex addict? And she said, no, I'm a love addict. And I looked at her, big blue doughy eyes. I said, do you think you could love me? And she said, I think I could. Made my day. I'm going, this is great. And April Summers goes, you're a pig. So now I'm a racist and I'm a pig. Well, no wonder they got rid of me, for God's sake. Yeah.
We love Renee.
What's the question?
We love Renee. Renee.
Oh, Renee Brinkley is now in Los Angeles, has a couple of kids that are almost college age, I think. Renee was fabulous, yeah. Renee did a blooper call also to Channel 2. We were watching, I think it was a baseball game one night. Channel 2 is broadcasting, and they kept showing this woman who had huge white hair that was out to here. And so we called the next day, and again, I thought, if I do it, they're going to recognize it, whatever. So Renee did it and said that it was her mother and that they were making fun of her, which they were on the broadcast throughout the night. And the producer at Channel 2, he sucked in so good. It was perfect. And Renee just kept going, she just kept on him. She was fabulous, yeah. No, Renee was, she was with me a long time. Renee actually came up here with Ryan Seacrest from Los Angeles. And then Ryan was here for a couple of years, and then he went back to LA, and Renee stayed here, which was great. I inherited her from Ryan.
Would you like to show the DVD?
Sure, yeah, let's end with that. This is a video that, it's just a compilation of a bunch of stuff that when I was inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame in Minneapolis, I think we showed this. It's a little television, a little this, a little that. Anyway, I think that I was on the radio at the right time. I truly enjoyed it. It was a joy to be on the radio when we were, and and you guys were listeners. So thanks for being on the show, everybody. I appreciate it. Wonderful.
KDWB, AM St. Paul, Minneapolis, FM Richfield. Hi, how are you? I'm the true Don Bleu. It's 3 o'clock.
Okay, grab a line here.
Grab a line.
Hi,
Okay.
who's this? Hello?
Linda.
Hi, Linda.
And I just want to tell you that I have never enjoyed a radio so much. Listen to you. I'm not going to turn my radio off this weekend. This is so much fun.
What station are you listening to?
It's time to leave here, but it's time to move on. That Twin Cities have been good to me. If I don't take this new job in L.A., I'll be as old as the oldies I play.
Hills full of cable cars, some residents in leather bars, fog climbs halfway up the Sutro Tower. Under streets the speeding barred the first time here.
I left my heart.
Still find remnants who of the flower power.
Shout your name, San Francisco. We're in America's Hall of Fame. Shout your name, San Francisco.
Now it's your turn for revenge. The toast of the host, True Don Bleu.
Oh, yeah. Hey, welcome. This is the Gong Show's special heavy mental show.
Twin Cities, thank you. From the true and stereo KDWB.
There it is. Well, thanks for thanks for spending Valentine's Day with me. My Valentine's Day has always been different since the day I gave my wife a can crusher for Valentine's. She said, in fact, as I'm coming over here, she said, "Don't you want to bring the can crusher with you?" I went, "No, I don't think so." Yeah. Oh yeah, she still has it. Oh, we use it all the time. We love it. Yeah. It's her favorite. It's her favorite thing I ever did for her. Yeah.
All right, Don, well,
so
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for
to Don Bleu, to Michael Bennett, to our audience. Any more questions for Don or Michael about radio, about where it's going, where it's been? Thank you for coming. Be sure to see us every month for our guest speakers. In March, it's going to be our Women in Broadcasting over at Jack London Square. And if you hadn't realized, Brian Hackney from Channel 5 did a little video feature for us yesterday, and it aired on KPIX Plus last night somewhere. But it's scheduled to run again in the 6:30 slot on Channel 5 before 60 Minutes tomorrow.
Oh, all right.
So
Are you pushing the button on it? Or?
No, thank goodness I'm not pushing the button on it. Thank you all again for coming, and have a pleasant evening.
Thank you.
Yeah.